Well, it is the 2nd of December and a key time for many trying to balance sober living with what can be a season of high pressure festivity. Here to talk about the challenges and strategies for the days and weeks ahead, we're joined by Nick Padlo. He's an Army combat veteran and the CEO of Sophros Recovery in Jacksonville. Nick, good morning.
Good morning.
We're also joined via video by Tracy.com Collins, former Florida Times Union columnist, WJXT morning show segment host, and author of the memoir Stumbling into Sobriety. Tracy, good to see you.
Good to see you, Anne. I was so excited to hear from you yesterday. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm so glad that you were able to join us. You're joining us from Arizona, we should say. So thanks for jumping 2 time zones. It has been several years of sobriety for you, I think, since March of 2017. Um,
Yes, 8 years, 8.5 years now.
Congratulations, first of all. That is a
Thank you.
remarkable accomplishment. How are the holidays? What are they like? How are they different, if they are at all for you?
Well, I remember them now. That's the main thing. Um, so I have to say that when I remember people getting sober in my life long before me and saying, "Oh my gosh, it's so great." And I would think, "Is it? Is it?" And I can tell you 100% it is a game changer. For me personally, because I had gotten to the point where I was drinking to black out and pass out every single day. Um, and I was a high functioning alcoholic. I would enough makeup and hairspray, and I was able to go on air the next morning, every morning. And many people had no idea this was going on behind the scenes. And I can tell you that when I finally made the decision, it was like being released from prison. It was a prison of my own doing, but it's something that I will never go back to. And gratefully, in terms of the holidays, there is a whole movement with the alcohol companies understanding that more and more people are wanting this non-alcoholic option. So you've got everything from zero Guinness to we've got free wines that come in all flavors, including for New Year's. They make champagne that's alcohol free. And then there's also the hard liquors. And what it does is it mimics the scent and the flavor without the alcohol. And so you don't have to feel like you're being left out at any time. It is a slippery slope, though, because I will tell you that there are some people who can't even smell a rum cake that has had all of the actual rum baked out of it without having a reaction to it. So it's different for everybody. But in my world, that it gives me the option to celebrate like everybody else, but not have the bad results.
Yeah. Nick, tell us about that. I mean, what Tracy points out is there are a lot of alternatives now when it comes to particularly beverages, alcoholic beverages, but that isn't necessarily a fail-safe. To her point, that can be something that can even be triggering for people if they're feeling like they're drinking, that could be in some ways giving them maybe a false sense of comfort. Will you talk a little bit about your experience in dealing with holidays? What kinds of challenges those presented to you, especially the first few years of your sobriety?
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest challenge with holidays was the time off and the isolation. My family wasn't one where all the gatherings were centered around alcohol. I was lucky in that regard. I had a lot of support. But for me, it's when I'm left to my own devices, when I have time off, when I have isolation, when I have this moment of I can do this and no one's going to know and I'm not going to hurt anyone but myself. I can go to really dark places. And so learning how to say, okay, I need to thoughtfully and mindfully fill that time. I need to do things that are healthy for me. And rest might be one of those things. But for me, it could be rest all day. And then I'm isolating and my mental health starts to struggle. So what are the things that I can put into place? How can I really schedule out my day so that I've got a meeting, so that I've got a gym time, so that I've got time to reach out and have connection with other people, as opposed to kind of going inward and isolating? That was my own experience. Other people struggle with different things in the holidays, but I think that the consistent theme is that these things are outside of our normal schedule and they throw us off, whether that's more time with family or more time by yourself or time off work. All these things throw us off of our normal schedule, which hopefully by now we've designed in such a way to keep us happy and healthy. And so now that's taken out from us and we don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do.
And so in the counseling work that you do, are the people that you advise, are they looking for similar solutions, ideas, or do they present with different sets of challenges in their own experience of the holidays?
I mean, everyone presents with different sets of challenges. I think the one commonality that we work on at Sophros Recovery is like, how do we build a toolkit of things so that you have something to go to when life gets hard or when the holidays get hard? And so it's not any one thing. It's not, non-alcoholic drinks, as she mentioned, might be a solution. And we also need to have an exit plan. And I also need to have my mindfulness. And if unhealthy thoughts start to come up, I need to learn how to reframe those in a healthy way. So when life throws something at me, if I'm building a house and I have a hammer, that's a great tool, but I'm also going to need a level and a broom and a saw. And I need to have all these tools at my disposal because just like a housing project, life is going to throw different stuff at us, especially around the holidays.
Yeah, and Tracy, I mean, one of the things about the holidays is while there's sort of all of this festivity, there's also all of these opportunities for enormous tension. And, some of that can be family, some of that can be expectations that aren't met, some of it can just be the stressors of, like Nick said, sort of not being in a structured work environment. You're just at loose ends. How do you plan for that? And how do you, in the work that you've done helping other people, counsel them?
So the 12 steps are the first place to start because most people, including myself, did not understand why we were doing the things that we were doing. It's sort of a mystery. And so I got into a good 12-step program. And just like Nick talked about, it provides the tools so that when triggers do come up, and you make a really good point about expectations, we learn very fast in recovery that you are only responsible for your side of the street. And so we create these tools that you ask yourself these questions uh, that create a better way to live life. And I don't care if your addiction is alcohol or if it's you're addicted to the drama, the 12 steps program is a great place for you to get those tools that you can reference back. And then you also should have a support system. Like many AA programs provide a good support system. Obviously, Nick's recovery program provides a good support system. And that way you have somebody who really understands the backside of what we're going through to help you kind of walk through those things. I have a sponsor that I talk to, and we work through some of the things that are bothering me. And sometimes I just need to, I like to say that throw up, it'll make you feel better. I like to throw up my baggage to my sponsor, and then I feel better. I don't even need a solution. I just need somebody who understands my brain, my alcoholic brain.
Yeah. And we should say we have a note on Facebook from Stacy saying, I loved Tracy's book, such a great, relatable read. That's your
Oh,
book, of course, Stumbling into Sobriety. I wanted to ask you, because I know early on when you were going through this, you would sometimes refer to kind of going back to your why. And you had made a video of yourself that you would watch or at least think about when you were
yeah.
feeling vulnerable. Is that something that you still do? Can you kind of remind us of what that was and what purpose it served?
Sure. It was right before I got sober. I oftentimes would have to look back at my pictures from the previous night to see what had even happened. And in this one particular video, I was drunk and I was talking to myself on this video and sort of just contemplating my life. And I included part of that in my video that I created to promote the book. And it's you get to see a completely different side of me, and one that when I shared it at my 50th birthday party, it caused a lot of tears because there were a lot of people who felt really close to me and then realized they didn't really know me at all. I had a lot of people say, I'm so sorry if I would have known. And I'm like, it wasn't your journey to walk, it was mine to walk. And by writing the book, it was that my pain became my purpose. And the purpose was to help other people, specifically single, successful women who thought, why am I like this? Nobody else out there is like me. And I've come to find out in a very short time that there were a lot of single, successful women who were exactly like me. And because there was no accountability with children or spouse or anything, just like Nick said, isolation was my worst enemy. And now it's my best friend. I love my time alone.
We have a message from Jerry from St. Augustine saying sober and 12 steps work. Nick, you are a veteran yourself. You've experienced some of the hardships that go along with being someone who served in a combat role, and you help people who are also in that same position. Is there anything special about the holidays for people who have served and who are experiencing some of the mental health issues that often are tied to substance abuse?
I mean, I think that the things that affect veterans, whether it's during the holidays or not, are pretty consistent. What I think is what we see is you have more time to think, you have more tension and more drama. And so these things, these kind of unhealthy patterns start to come up. And I think one of the things for me was always, who am I now that I'm no longer in uniform? What is my new identity? How do I fit in? And so when you start to be around a bunch of civilians in your family, that gets exacerbated because you feel this sense of not fitting in potentially, right? Or you see everyone happy and you're struggling with post-traumatic stress. And so it's, why am I not happy? And so everything just seems to have more contrast. All of these struggles that I'm having, now they seem exacerbated and they're really in my face. And so, what we always tell people is that, there are a million reasons over the holidays not to do anything about your struggles. I've got family coming in town. I've got this, I've got that. I can't prioritize myself. I can't get to a meeting. I can't go to treatment. Whatever those things are, there's so many more reasons to do it, right? During the holidays, we actually do have a little bit of time, right? We do have these moments with our family where we can connect and be vulnerable. And also, there's going to be a lot of other holidays. And like, what a blessing to be able to give your family to say, hey, I need to sit this Thanksgiving out. I need to sit a couple of days out this Christmas because I need to go to a meeting. I need to leave for an hour and go to a meeting. And then now I'm healthier for them for the rest of their lives, for the rest of my life. And so that gift, maybe it takes a little bit away from this holiday because I have to focus on myself. And at the same time, the gift that I'm giving them is this gift of sobriety, which, I think my family values more than anything.
It's a great way to think of the holidays as not something to be dreaded, but as an opportunity for people who are in that. So I think we'll leave it on that thought. But it's great to talk to both of you. Congratulations both for all the work that you've done, Nick Padlo, Tracy.com Collins. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.